Mr. Speaker, I yield myself the balance of the time.
Gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, this is a good rule for a critically important bill that addresses our current housing market crisis. My friend from North Carolina speaks of the leadership of this committee being from California and Nevada, the Democratic majority. It is true that Speaker Pelosi is from California, and it is true that Senator Harry Reid is from Nevada. But they are two people. There are other people in the leadership in the majority. Senator Durbin from Illinois, Mr. Clyburn from South Carolina, or Mr. Lawson from Connecticut, the distinguished majority leader, Steny Hoyer from Maryland. What we are talking about here is a universal problem insofar as this country is concerned, and I'm just back from an anti-Semitism conference in England where I read very actively regarding their home crisis in the United Kingdom. We are also experiencing a whole global set of circumstances. Mr. Speaker, in today's daily summary, the quote is made from the Majority Whip's office that Confucius said, and I quote, "The strength of a nation is derived from the integrity of its homes." I can think, and I'm sure every member here can think, of all of our families through the years, that among the things that they wanted was an opportunity to have a home. When my good friend from North Carolina speaks about returning to welfare, I didn't, when I was a boy, think that it was welfare after the Second World War, when the Federal Home Administration, old FHA, and the Veterans Administration built a monument to middle-class homes in this country, many of them still standing, many of them giving the foundation a safe and inhabitable environment for people to raise their children as a result of those particular programs. Followed by their successor, the Housing and Urban Development Department, I, as a young lawyer, participated in a variety of methods that gave low and moderate income families an opportunity to have a safe and inhabitable environment under programs such as 221D3, 221H, a variety of programs, rehabilitating properties, building homes for seniors, and giving everybody a chance. I would like to add an anecdote. The value of my home in my neighborhood in Miramar, Florida, has decreased substantially. Other members in this body are experiencing the same thing. I have paid my mortgage for 11 years every month on time. If my home value decreases another 6%, I will have an upside down or underwater mortgage, having done nothing but the right thing. But there are 7 of my neighbors that I know that are in foreclosure. And fortunately, our homeowners association is mindful of a need that we have to work together. This is a collective thrust, this piece of legislation. This is something to help us all. That's what Americans do. It is not a giveaway. It is not welfare when I look out for my neighbors and they look out for me. It is the potential to lay the foundation for us to get out of a crisis that is an enormous one for this entire nation. Nearly 6 million households in America face foreclosure. My state of Florida has the second highest foreclosure rate after California. It's just plain old common sense for Congress to pass a bill that will help working families who have played by the rules and acted responsibly to stay in their homes and to continue to pay off their mortgages. We can't run away from this crisis. We must rebuild, and we must help those in need. Neighborhoods in the district that I'm privileged to represent, as well as around this nation, are struggling. Homes are being foreclosed, and we have an opportunity to mitigate the destructive impact of these foreclosures on families and communities. I urge my colleagues so that we may support a bill that will give millions of Americans the opportunity to stay in their homes and not be forced out on the streets. In defense of some of the services in my district, The Ocwen Financial Services has been doing loan modifications on their own, and their return rate for foreclosures is substantially less than the norm. There just are some good ones out there. The credit unions and the community banks have been doing responsible lending. They did not take advantage of people who may not have known what they were doing or who should have known and took advantage of the system to buy homes that they should not have bought. It's just that simple. Mr. Speaker, I urge a yes vote on the previous question and on the rule, and I beg of us all to understand the critical need that we have to work together in this country, Democrats and Republicans, liberals and conservatives, everybody in this nation must face this problem. And yes, we must act responsibly, and yes, we must act with accountability. And that's what this measure, as offered by the distinguished chair of the Judiciary Committee and the distinguished chair of the Financial Services Committee, working in conjunction with their colleagues, I might add in a bipartisan way. There are few people here that have had as many markups as they have in Judiciary and Financial Services. And when they come before the Rules Committee, all I hear of them is the fairness of Congressman Conyers and the fairness of Congressman Frank. So to say that these measures are not bipartisan or that others are not being listened to is just absolutely wrong. Let us pass this measure. I yield back the balance of my time, and I move the previous question on the resolution.